All right, folks, this is Prepping with Sarge, and I am here to give you a video response to my own scenario, which was basically the tunnel attack. I'll go over that again in just a second, but I want to say thank you to everybody who gave me either a video response or a comment. If you haven't seen it, I've probably by now pinned some other videos in my community post section, so please go check those out. Support those channels. We have to build a community here, folks. YouTube does not promote prepping and survival channels. It's very hard to get out there, so the only way that we can do this is by supporting each other and building a community. So make sure you check out those channels as well, and thank you very much to everybody who participated. All right, and let's just review the scenario real quick. So I'll put the video up at the top here too, but you don't need to go back and review that if you're just tuning in now. If you're new to the channel and you missed that one or whatever, it's okay. The scenario is we have a terrorists, bad guys, people that hate Americans, are basically have coordinated an attack where you've got one large truck filled with boom 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 boom, and it drives into a tunnel, and then maybe like a quarter mile behind him is a second driver in another CDL, and they do a coordinated explosions where they basically are sealing off that tunnel, that traffic tunnel, and creating a kill box so that everybody that's trapped in there is going to be probably dealt with a pew pew pew, right? And so they're going to go car to car, basically executing people. And I was asking people to respond if you're in this scenario, because this is, believe it or not, this is actually a legitimate threat that was assessed by DHS way back in 2002, way back in 2002, based on intel that this was one of the things that the bad guys were planning. Make no mistake, they could still attempt this. And the purpose of these scenarios is to get us using our thinky thinks, as my friend Steve from Corsair Trainers says, use your thinky think, because nobody can prepare for every situation. But if you are, kind of using your skills to think about what would I do in this situation, you're going to be prepared for similar events, right? So things may not go down exactly like this. Hopefully you never have to deal with something like this, but if you do, you're not stuck in that fight, flight, freeze. That's why we have these. That's why I do these videos of situational awareness. How would you respond? Let's interact as a community and talk it out. Okay, so what would I do? I'm recording this right after I did that last one where I introduced this topic to you, literally like a minute later. And I'm going to go on basically that if I'm not working, or if I'm traveling and I can, not all states allow this, but if I can, I'm carrying my concealed weapon, which most likely for me is going to be my Glock 17. So as soon as I hear pew pew bang bang and I know something's going down, I'm gonna try to assess the situation as I'm drawing and making sure my pew 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 is ready to go, right? So if yours has a safety or whatever, or if you don't typically carry one in the chamber, it's time to chamber one. It's time to get it on, right? Now, if I can see the threat, I'm going to assess, is it genuinely what I'm thinking it is, bad guys, or is it, make sure you know what you're aiming at. Don't take out a good guy who's trying to take out a bad guy, right? And that includes, of course, law enforcement who might be in that tunnel, right? So it's conceivable that there might be other people in that tunnel like you that are armed. So make sure you know what you're aiming at and what's beyond that, right? Because the last thing I want to do is take out a fellow good guy who's trying to stop the threat. All right, so let's say that that's not the case, and I see obviously there's some masked guys. Maybe they've got some tactical gear on there, and it's pretty clear that those are the bad guys, and they're going car to car and bang. I'm gonna probably, if I can, if it's still safe to do so, I'm gonna stay in my vehicle, because that does give me some cover and concealment. Especially the engine block from the front is gonna protect you from some rounds and some shrapnel. And I'm gonna begin to assess, do I have a shot? Do I have a shot? Now, I'm not gonna personally abandon my vehicle unless it's no longer safe. If they start shooting at my vehicle and they've got me pinned down, I might need to move. I might need to try to figure out what are my options here. Can I go left? Can I go right? Or do I have to just hunker down? But as soon as I've got a clear shot and I know what it's a bad guy and I know what's beyond that, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take somebody out. I've already committed that into my mind so that when the moment happens, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't know if I could do this, right? It's hard enough for me. You guys know, have been with me for a while. You know that I'm a healer. I'm not a fighter. I'm a healer. And so it's going to be hard enough for me. I have to pre-game this. You have to get in that mindset of, what am I going to do? Am I really willing to pull that trigger? Well, if I see somebody going car to car, executing innocent civilians, yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'll deal with the mental health aspects of that afterwards. And I will deal with the legal consequences of that afterwards. Now, if you're not going to do that, that's okay. I really do understand that not everybody's built for that. Do you have a first aid kit in your car? I have a very comprehensive first aid kit in my car. And I'm going to, as soon as the situation is as safe as I can get it, assuming that I'm still alive and I haven't been taken out, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start assessing who needs my help that's within my range, and is it safe for me to go and render aid to them, and then I have to start making some decisions. If this person looks like they're on their last breath, but this person over here looks like I might be able to stop the bleed and save them, unfortunately you're going to have to make some of those hard decisions in that situation. So if you're not going to be somebody who fights back, but you're willing to render aid, you got to game that out too, because that's another situation that could make you fight, flight, freeze, right? So for those of you who are brand new to the channel, you might not know this, but I'm actually a trauma therapist. So I have a lot of expertise on how the brain works in emergencies. I mostly work with first responders. So what you need to know there is that you may think, oh, I'm going to be Billy Badass and I'm going to go, stop all the bad guys in the tunnel. Maybe, but if you haven't already had training on this, if you're not a veteran, if you're not law enforcement, if you've not ever had to do anything like that, your body's going to choose for you. That's literally how fight, flight, freeze works without training, right? So your body's going to choose for you and you might freeze. And the only way around that is to train with gaming these scenarios in your head is one way, but even better than that is to go to a place where you can get some dynamic training, like such as, how do I use my weapon from my vehicle, from the cover of my vehicle? How do I fire? How do I handle somebody who's behind cover and returning fire? What if I have I need to do a retention reload, or what if I have to move from one spot to the other? What's the safe way to do that? What if they're moving from one spot to another? Coordinating. What's the way to keep them suppressed, right? There's a lot that goes into that you just cannot get that training at a static range where you're just basically standing still going at a target that's like 25 feet away. That type of training is okay for getting used to the bang, what it feels like to use your weapon, but you really need to train beyond that. And I recommend things like IDPA, train with somebody like Corsair Trainers or somebody like that who's going to teach you some things about moving, but using cover, things like that, hitting a moving target. Try paintball and airsoft, right? Because most ranges are not going to let you hit a moving target. But if you use paintball or airsoft, you'll get an idea of what that's like. And it is a lot harder to hit something that's moving. So that's just some ideas that I'm throwing out there. Now, assuming I've got a phone signal, the very first thing, which I should have mentioned this, the very first thing is I'm going to dial 911. And I'm going to give the information that I can. If I have to stop to deal with the threat, I'm going to put the phone down, leave it going, right? And I'm going to tell the operator, the dispatch, that what my physical description is, that I am armed, and that I'm going to do what I can to protect myself from the threat. Okay? Really clear about your language there. Leave your sound on so they can hear you. You might be able to communicate. I'm injured. I need help. But I still see 3 bad guys. This is what they look like. They're, 3/3 of the way through the tunnel. As much detail as you can give. They were coming out of this white van, right? As much detail as you can get. And then once it's safe, once first responders have dealt with the threat completely, and now people are being dealt with, or people are being helped with first aid and things like that, I'm still, because I'm a mental health expert, I'm a trauma therapist, I'm still going to stay on scene, and I'm going to help as many people as I can deal with the aftermath of that. And I've done a lot of videos about what you can do in those situations in the aftermath of an emergency to try to mitigate the long-term effects of trauma, PTSD, things like that, when you're in a situation like this. So I'm going to use all of the skills, all of my tools, all of my resources to do the best thing I can for myself and the people around me and control only the pieces of it that are within my control. I am not John Wick, all right? I've not had that kind of training. I've had some training. So the idea that I'm going to be able to take on 12 bad guys with my little Glock 17, probably not. Probably not, but I'm going to do as much good as I possibly can, and that's probably what you said as well. Hey folks, I really appreciate you. Don't forget to check the description down below for some products that I think you will like. These are brands that are supporting my channel and what we're trying to do so that I can get the message out to you. I'll be honest with you, YouTube revenue doesn't pay me very much. Very, very little, and they're not helping me get my message out. So if you could do that by sharing this with your other friends who are preppers and survivalists, if the forums that you interact with allow that, please share it on those. But let's get this word out. I need your help with this. Support the brands. That's another way that you can help me out, because that's the only way I can keep this channel financially solvent. And speaking of which, I'm going to end with one last thing. If you can, hang out for 1 second to help support this sponsor. If you're into silver and gold, check out my friends over at AppMex and go ahead and get started on that. Financial prepping is also part of prepping. Tell them Prepping with Sarge sent you. All right? Hey, keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge. Hey, squad. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Today's video is actually sponsored by AppMex. AppMex is my choice for online gold and silver when I'm looking to add to my stack. I do believe that with all the financial insecurity in the world, financial prepping is part of prepping. And gold and silver, having gold and silver in a physical form is one of the ways that you can not only hedge against inflation, but store some of your wealth even when currencies hit a crisis. And if nothing happens, if we never reach any kind of an SHTF situation, then gold and silver can be passed on to your children and grandchildren. Please check out AppMex on the internet at www.appmex.com. Tell them Prepping with Sarge sent you.